There we go. Okay. All right. So this morning's class is yoga for the Enchantress. And that is the phase of our life where we enter into perimenopause and menopause. The medical terminology for menopause means it says that we are in menopause after we experience our last menstrual period, and we haven't had one for a whole year. And in the medical community, kind of like pregnancy, menopause is treated as a condition. And our work this morning is to understand that menopause, or this enchantress phase of our life, is not a medical condition. It is a metamorphosis, and it is a gateway to our wisdom years. Okay. So we're going to begin this morning by coming to a comfortable seated position. And you will need a pillow of some sort of fluffy, squishy thing or blanket, okay, for this practice. And you're going to want to sit up nice and tall. Find a comfortable seat for you. You could sit in a cross-leg position. You would sit up on your pillow or your bolster. And just make yourself comfortable. And then close your eyes or find a soft gaze. And just come home to yourself this morning. Come home to your body. Notice how you're arriving on your yoga mat this morning. And notice how your body feels. So when we move into this phase of our lives, our bodies are undergoing a metamorphosis. And when any creature undergoes a transformation, there is intensity in this period. So honor where you are today and give yourself permission to be wherever that is, okay? So if your body feels like it's in a state that's a little unsettled, maybe you might feel heat, maybe you might feel fatigue, maybe your emotions are all over the place. And all of these experiences are okay and part of the process. So give yourself permission to be where you are this morning. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Draw your breath into your belly. Fill your belly. Fill your rib cage. Expand your lungs front to back, side to side. And then open your mouth wide. Exhale, release it with a sigh. Let it all go. Find another big breath in through your nose. Draw your breath down into your belly. See if you can breathe a little bit deeper this time, creating some expanse. And then open your mouth wide. Exhale, release it, let it go with a sigh. Take another deep breath in through your nose. And open your mouth wide. Exhale, release it, let it all go. Women are like the moon. We change gradually from day to day. We undergo different phases in our lives, just as the moon undergoes phases. You never see the whole cycle. You can only see one phase. And our intention in our practice this morning is to honor this phase, to honor the transformation we are undergoing in our bodies, understanding that this is not a medical condition. There's not something wrong with us, not something that needs to be fixed. This is part of a process of transformation, of shedding and releasing, and moving into a deep knowing, a deep wisdom. Take a big breath in through your nose and open your mouth wide. Exhale, release it with a sigh. We're going to invite in a pranayama for cooling. It is known as Sitali and Sitkari. So you can gently open your eyes, find a gaze towards the tip of your nose. You can let your hands rest on your knees. And the way this breath works is we're going to breathe in through our mouths, okay? And you can either make an O, or if you can form your tongue into like a straw, you can breathe in that way. Or if you like, you can smile and breathe in through your teeth. And the intention of this breath is to cool. So you're going to breathe in through your mouth and then exhale through your nose. Inhale. Exhale through your nose. Inhale. Exhale through your nose. Continue breathing in and out, just connecting to your breath, connecting to the way this breath cools your body, and know that this breath is always available to you. So if your body feels warm, if you feel hot, you can always use this breath to help you cool and calm. Notice how this breath affects you, how it affects your nervous system. Give yourself a few moments to just fully experience the cooling effects of your inhale and your exhale. What story are you rewriting this morning? What stories are on the surface of your heart or your mind? What have you told yourself about this period or this phase in your life? Can you let go of whatever those stories are and just allow yourself to embrace the beauty of the transformation taking place before you? Find one more inhale. One more exhale. And then softly open your eyes if your eyes are closed. Place your hands on your knees and then inhale, draw your shoulder blades together on your back, look up at the sky, a little back bend. And exhale, round, draw your chin towards your chest, draw your navel towards your spine. Inhale, come back to center and begin to move in barrel rolls and big circles. Just inviting some movement into your spine, big gentle circles. Find a slow, even inhale through your nose. A slow, even exhale through your nose. Explore your range of motion. Notice how it feels this morning. Notice where your joints might feel like they need a little bit more love. And give yourself permission to pause in those places. And then shift direction, move in the opposite direction. Barrel rolls, moving into your shoulders, elbows. And then gently find your way back to center. practice this morning? What is something, what is a story that you want to release this morning? What is holding you back from fully embracing this time of your life, this moment? Set an intention. Hold it in your heart. Know that we are holding it with you. And then gently open your eyes. Inhale, stretch your arms up. And then exhale, you're going to take your hands in front of you. Walk your hands forward, roll over your knees, bring your big toes to touch, and sink your hips back to your heels for a child's pose. Now, if you have a pillow, a blanket, or a bolster nearby, and you feel like you want a little bit of support, you can take the bolster between your thighs and lay out over your bolster for a supported child's pose. Giving yourself permission to move into whatever shape feels most supportive to you this morning. How can you care for yourself this morning? Miranda Gray researches the cyclical nature of women, and she's written many books. And she says that in our lives we have 4 phases. The first phase of our lives as women is known as the maiden phase, and it is a time of change, of physical, mental, and emotional changes into adulthood. The second stage of our lives is the mother. It is our adult stage of life, which is cyclic. And when we stand grounded in the outer world and we mother, whether or not we physically birth children, we mother each other, we nurture, we care for the earth, we care for the animals, we care for others. The third stage of our life is that of the Enchantress, and it is a time of change, again, metamorphosis, of physical, mental, and emotional evolution into completeness. And the fourth stage is that of the wise woman, our elder stage of life, where we sit between the worlds. In this practice, we recognize our changing nature and the transformation that takes place within us throughout our lives. We are ever changing. When we shift from one phase to another, we are not losing something, we are gaining. These are shifts and changes to be celebrated. To be fully embodied here, so really feel into your experience. Notice the earth beneath you supporting you. Notice all of the points on your body that make contact with the earth. As you breathe in, know that you are receiving energy from the earth, support from the earth. And as you breathe out, know that you can release any heaviness, frustrations, stresses back into the earth for her to transmute and transform for you. Our Mother, our Earth holds us and supports us and brings us a sense of grounding through all of the phases of life. Connecting to her, we see the cyclical nature in living things. We see the transformations. Just a few more breaths here. On your next inhale, very slowly begin to walk your hands back, find a way into a tabletop position. You have your palms underneath your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips, and we're going to move in figure eights or spirals, or maybe even barrel rolls. Not your typical cat-cow, but really bringing movement into the spine. Moving in this way stimulates our adrenals. It stimulates the flow of lymph, helping us to detoxify and regulate our hormones. Move in any way that feels good. There's no right or wrong answer. This shape is called dancing lion. Maybe this morning, embrace your inner lioness. Explore your range of movement, your range of motion. And then when you are ready, come back to a tabletop position. Spread your fingers wide, tuck your toes under, lift your hips up for a downward facing dog shape. Inhale high onto your tippy toes. Exhale, bend your left knee, press your right heel down, stretching out the back side of your right leg. Take a few big breaths in here, creating some space. Inhale high onto your tippy toes and exhale, switch sides. Bend your right knee, press your left heel down towards the earth. So brain fog is something that is kind of a common experience when we're in the Enchantress phase of our lives. And anytime our head is lower than our heart, it helps to bring fresh blood supply to our brain, which can actually help with brain fog. So if you're having a morning where you might feel particularly foggy or fatigued, this is a great shape to move into for about 10 breaths. Take a big breath in. And exhale, gently lower your knees down to the earth. Make your way all the way onto your belly. Bring your forearms down to the mat in an 11 shape. And we're gonna move into Sphinx pose. We're gonna find a really gentle back bend here. Spread your fingers wide, push into your palms, and then inhale, lift your heart. Draw your shoulder blades together on your back. Anytime you feel heat in this practice, so if your body starts to feel too warm, you can invite your Sitali and Sikari breath in. So inhale through a straw and an exhale through your nose. Just allow your breath to cool you. Can you draw your shoulder blades a little closer together, a little bit closer towards each other? Good. And then if you like, you can drop your chin down to your chest. So I mentioned heat and feeling warm. And we know that fire is the transformative energy. Can you imagine when you're moving into these spaces that the fires are literally transforming you and making way for a new experience? You can use your breath to cool. You can also invite in some essential oils like a blend of lavender, chamomile, even peppermint oils to help you cool. Our Enchantress years can begin in our 40s as we begin to alter physically and our hormones change, our menstrual cycles change, we change, our body changes, our emotions change, even the way that we think changes. And the change doesn't stop with our last menstruation. It continues after. We can be in this phase for around 10 years. There's this process of transformation, this whole cycle shift, before we enter into our wise woman phase. Take a big breath in. And then exhale, just allow yourself to come all the way down onto your belly. Make a little pillow for your face with your hands. You can turn your favorite ear to the mat. It doesn't matter which side. Take a moment. When you are ready, very, very slowly make your way onto your back. So you're going to roll onto your back. Just gently roll onto your back. And then inhale, stretch your arms over your head, extend your legs long. Open up the front side of your body. And exhale, squeeze your knees in. Give yourself a big hug. Interlace your fingers over your shins. Take your knees in circles to the right, massaging your low back. And then take your knees in circles to the left, massaging your low back. And then gently come back to center, squeeze your knees in, begin to rock and roll back and forth from crown to tailbone until you can come all the way up to a seated position. You're going to take your legs into a wide straddle. You can sit up on your pillow or your bolster if you like. You can also take a couple of bolsters or pillows behind your knees if that feels supportive. And then bring your hands to the tops of your thighs. Inhale, sit up tall. And then exhale, start to walk your hands forward. Find a wide leg forward fold. You have some options here. You can stay here and start to work your way down, or you can take your pillow in front of you or your bolster in front of you for some support. Bring this in close to your belly and just fold in. Let your head hang heavy. Let your neck relax. Wide-legged forward fold helps with uterine tone. It gives relief when we have heavy periods. It can help to provide some relief with cramps. Every inhale, create a little bit more length. Every exhale, soften. Think of the ways that you are able to care for your body if you know and understand what it's going through. Give yourself permission to honor where you are, honor your body, honor your experience, honor your transformation. During the Enchantress phase, it is a time of decreasing physical energy and stamina as our hormones decline and change. But we also begin to experience a change in our thinking as our subconscious mind becomes more dominant. The subconscious mind is the level at which we process our patterns, our memories, and the information that the intellectual mind cannot hold. This mind is quick, but it doesn't think in words. Because this ability belongs to the maiden phase and its dominant intellectual mind. Instead, the Enchantress mind is intuitive, amazingly intuitive, creatively inspired. She's spiritual and free from restriction and inhibition. Take a deep breath in. Slowly begin to sit up. Walk your hands back. Gently lift your knees up to a bend. Bring the soles of your feet together and let your knees lay out wide for mountain ankle pose. You can take blocks underneath your knees or blankets underneath your knees for support here. And there are a couple of ways that you can move into this shape. So one is to stay seated upright. Okay, that might feel really good for you right now. Another is to interlace your fingers over your feet and then fold forward. Let your elbows come out to your sides. And then finally, this is my favorite on many levels. You can bring your pillow or your bolster behind you. Long ways. So you'll bring your bolster, your pillow right against your sacrum, and then you'll come down onto your back. And if you feel like it's too much of a back bend, you can stack your pillows and find more support. So there are many options for this shape. Choose the one that feels the best in your body. What do you need this morning? How can you show up for yourself? The last option is a little bit more restorative. It's a little bit more calming to the central nervous system. So if you're feeling more stressed, more anxious, more emotional, maybe try that one. Take a big breath in and then soften into your shape. You can use your pillow or your bolster to support you in any way that feels good. You can even bring it in front of you if you like. When we walk the path of the Enchantress, we walk the path of the premenstrual phase. So this time in our lives is very closely related to the premenstrual period. So if you can reflect back in life on how you felt during your premenstrual phase of your cycle, then the Enchantress phase of your life is like an extended premenstrual time. Okay, so it's kind of the same energies. Your hormones are dropping. You might feel very emotional, creative, inspired, but also tired. You're quick and slow at the same time. A lot of energies. So during this phase, not only does our body alter, but our thinking becomes dominated by the subconscious mind. You might find yourself not remembering a word or a name, and that's not a sign of aging. It's a sign of the Enchantress mind becoming more dominant. We are not growing old, we are becoming Enchantress. And we are thinking with her intuitive, spiritual, and inspired mind. In a world that defines intelligence by the ability to use words and numbers, the Enchantress stage is seen as decaying of the mind and as a degeneration of our abilities. But this is not true. This is not the case. We are, in fact, just growing up. Everything in our life is leading us to this stage of growing wisdom, of knowing without words, of inspired living, of spiritual awareness, of vision, and of caring for the future of all. Soften into your pose. Every inhale creating space, every exhale helping you move even deeper into the shape. Take just a few more breaths here, softening. And when you are ready, very slowly come back up to seated. Take your hands to the outsides of your knees, guide your knees in towards each other. Wrap your arms around your shins, bow your head, round and curl. And then slowly come back up to seated. Place the soles of your feet on the earth. Inhale, sit up tall. Exhale, you're gonna lower down slowly, one vertebrae at a time, nice and slow, all the way down onto your back, all the way down. When you arrive on your back, separate your feet hip distance. Bring your arms down by your sides, turn your palms face down. Walk your feet in so that you can touch your heels with your fingertips. Press down into the soles of your feet. And inhale, lift your hips up, reach your arms over your head. Exhale, lower your hips down, bring your arms down by your sides. Inhale, lift your hips up, reach your arms over your head. Exhale, lower your hips down, arms at your sides. Keep going, move with your own breath. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower. A few more. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower. Keep going. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Good. Two more. Inhale and exhale. Last one. Inhale and exhale. The next time, lift your hips up and you're going to place your bolster or your blanket underneath your sacrum. So right underneath your hips. Right right underneath your hips so that you have some support. This pose helps to calm anxiety and restore energy. And anytime we move into a practice where we have these passive, longer holds, it helps us to move into a calmer and more peaceful state of mind. And so when we feel overwhelmed in our lives, these are great shapes to move to. The Enchantress is not something to be feared because we've been there before. Each of us enters the Enchantress phase of our lives every time we move into the premenstrual phase. We know what she likes. We know how she feels. We know how she thinks. We learn over the many years of our lives to listen to the Enchantress within us and to meet our premenstrual needs and to embrace all of the amazing gifts and energies that she brings us. We know that when we welcome her and make room for her in our lives, our healing occurs and our lives become magically transformed. We realize there's not something wrong with us. This is part of us. She is part of who we are. The Enchantress dances her life without restriction and without the need to be anything other than herself. She creates, she weaves, she cares, she inspires. She rides the waves and she focuses the powers of the deep into life-giving blessings. Aging is a sign of sacred change. This is a sacred transformation. From here, just bring your knees in towards your chest. You can keep your hips supported on your bolster or your pillow. Just bring your knees in towards your chest. Interlace your fingers over your shins. And just bring your hands to your shins for a little bit decide if you'd like to stay supported by your bolster or your pillow, or if you'd like to remove it. And then once you've decided, you can extend the soles of your feet up towards the sky for legs up the wall. And just extend your legs up towards the sky, legs up the wall. Good. If this doesn't feel right for you to be supported, you can remove the block or the bolster or the pillow from underneath you. Sometimes it's nice to have a little bit of padding underneath your hips. And if you feel like this shape is hard to do or it's fatiguing you in some way, you can literally bring your legs up the wall. So you can use a wall for an assistant, or you can use your bed or your sofa or a chair. Okay, you can find support that works for you. If you're having trouble sleeping at night, this is a great shape to move into before bed. You can actually do it in bed. You can go right into bed and put your legs up the wall or up your headboard for about 10 minutes before you go to sleep. If you wake up in the middle of the night and you're sleepless, this is a great shape to move into to help support you into rest. If we saw aging as a sign of sacred change, or of humanity reaching its ultimate position of sitting between the world of spirit and the world of everyday life, then perhaps we would treat our elders with greater understanding and respect, and give them space to be who they are, and to bring their wisdom and inspiration into our societies. Exhale, release with a sigh. Gently lower the soles of your feet to the earth. Slowly lower the soles of your feet down. And take your arms into a wide T shape. If you have a bolster underneath your hips, go ahead and shift it out of the way. And then drop your knees over to the right. Take a twist. Look over your left shoulder. Just a gentle twist. There's a story about a little girl who was playing in the garden, and she found a caterpillar. And she went to her mother and she asked her mother if she could keep it. And the mother said, yes, you can keep the caterpillar as long as you promise to care for it. And together they found a nice jar for the caterpillar, and they filled it with things that they thought that the caterpillar might need, like flowers and leaves, and did the best that they could to create a sweet habitat. Each day the little girl checked on the caterpillar, replenishing its stock of food where necessary, and then also decided to put a little stick in there for the caterpillar to climb onto. And one day the caterpillar climbed up the stick, and it started to act differently. was kind of shaking and moving about, and it started to spin silk. And the child went to her mother and was very concerned about the caterpillar, and the mother said, "It's okay. The caterpillar is going through a process of metamorphosis, and that to do so, it had to create a cocoon." The mother explained that in time, the caterpillar would become a butterfly. This added to the girl's excitement and her curiosity, so she would check on the caterpillar every single day. Now, this process of metamorphosis is not easy on the caterpillar. The caterpillar undergoes great change. The body that it once knew completely dissolves within the cocoon, and the cells are rearranged to create a baby butterfly, an incredibly different being. In this process for the caterpillar is probably pretty hard. And the child was watching this process. The little girl watched the process and saw that one day a tiny hole finally showed up in the cocoon. It took days. And the child could see that in the hole, the caterpillar was wriggling about with all of its might. Trying to break free from the cocoon. Very gently bring your knees back to center. Windshield wiper your knees from side to side. When you feel balanced, drop your knees in the opposite directions. Drop your knees over to the left, look over your right shoulder. Take your twist. The little girl started to feel really concerned for the caterpillar, so she went to the kitchen and she got a pair of scissors. And she decided to intervene in the process of metamorphosis. She decided that she needed to cut the cocoon open to free the caterpillar. And when she did, the butterfly did make its way out of the cocoon. But it didn't look so well. Its wings weren't so well formed. Its body was swollen. The child was so worried. All she wanted was for the wings to get stronger and larger and for the body to shrink in order to support the butterfly. But nothing happened. So the little girl went to her grandfather and explained what happened to the butterfly. The grandfather gently explained that because the little girl had taken over the caterpillar's role to emerge from the cocoon, he had made things too easy for the caterpillar. Caterpillars need to try hard, he explained, to be engaged in struggle in order to emerge perfectly. For it is that very struggle to get through the opening in the cocoon that pushes all of the fluid from the body and right into its wings. It's how the caterpillar is able to fly. This story teaches us about the need to stand back and let Mother Nature take its course. Trust our own mother. Trust Mother Nature. We must stand back and allow our own transformations, our own growths. Our own struggle, so that we can come into our own version of a butterfly. Very, very gently, begin to bring your knees back to center. And squeeze your knees in, give yourself a big hug, interlace your fingers over your shins, take a deep breath in through your nose, big breath in. Open your mouth wide, exhale, release it with a sigh. Lower the soles of your feet to the earth. So just lower your feet down. Heel toe your feet out the width of your mat. Let your knees knock in towards each other. And then this mudra, okay, this is gonna go on your low belly. So your thumbs go over your navel and your index fingers right at the top of your pubic bone. And create this little triangle with your hands. Just let your hands rest on your belly. This is Trimurta Mudra. It is a mudra for harmony. It assists life transitions, equanimity, and balance. It is the mudra that cultivates emotional balance and support. It harmonizes change. And it supports us during the transformational Enchantress phase of our life. Balance and harmony accompany all of my transitions. Balance and harmony accompany all of my transitions. Balance and harmony accompany all of my transitions. Let this be your mantra as you move through changes and transformations in your own life. And just allow yourself to be here in this moment and receive. Allow yourself to be still, to be held. You can stay here as long as you like, or if you feel ready, if you feel called, you can move into your Shavasana pose. And in your Shavasana, you can find any comforts that you'd like, blankets, pillows, whatever you need to make yourself comfortable and to take care of yourself. And just allow yourself to be still for the next several moments. When it is time to find your way out of your meditation, out of stillness, I will let you know. But for now, just allow yourself to be. Just allow yourself to be still. Know that you are held. Begin to deepen your breath. Bring awareness back to your body. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. On an inhale, stretch your arms over your head, reach through your fingers, reach through your toes. On an exhale, squeeze your knees in, give yourself a big hug and interlace your fingers over your shins. Rock gently side to side, eventually finding your way on to your right side. Pause here for a moment and gentle reflection. When you're ready, use the strength of your arms to push you up to a comfortable seated position. Bring your palms to heart center, bow your head, close your eyes. Take a moment in gratitude for your practice. Take a moment to come back to your intention, the intention that you set for your practice this morning. May balance and harmony accompany you in all transitions and transformations. Thank you so much for allowing me to be your guide. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om peace, peace, peace. Namaste. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Allison.
Oh, Laura, love you. Mwah.
I love you too. Have the best day.
You too, honey.
All right, I'll
My
talk.
love to Bill. I hope he's better.
I will. Yeah, I'll let him know. All right. Sending you so much love.
Yeah, me to you too, honey.
Oh, all right. Bye, sweetie.